there are some people, Lakers are making that run, they get it to 14. You and LeBron have that exchange. There are people out there that say maybe you shouldn't do that with one of the better players in the game. What were you thinking?
I don't care. He's old. You know what I mean? I was waiting for that. I was expecting him to do that game 4, game 5. He wanted to say something when I got my 4th foul. He should have been saying that earlier on. But, you know, I poke bears. I don't respect no one until they come and give me 40. I pride myself on, you know, what I do is defense and taking on any challenge that's on the board. If it's LeBron, if it's AD, if it's whoever. And I play my heart out. So, you know, he knows that. You know, most of the NBA knows that. And I know my guys know that, and I try to get them on that same type of time every time we touch that floor.
What did he say?
Huh?
What did he say to you?
When?
You just said that moment. Yeah.
Oh, he just said, you know, you're done for getting that foul, you know, for 4th foul. And then, you know, I play hard. You know, I got to find a way to, you know, not get the fouls on like Reeves on the transition or Rui when he's driving. You know, use those fouls, you know, for LeBron and AD and, you know, the guys when I'm guarding, especially when, you know, refs want to call it ticky-tack stuff. You know, we've been watching the playoffs and stuff's hard-nosed. And, you know, they're finding ways to, you know, bring back that regular season stuff. You know, you know, I ain't for that. I'm here for the playoffs. So I hope they, you know, get that under control.
So he says you're dumb, and so what's your response there?
You know, what did I say? I said, you know, finally you want to talk. And then we started getting into a, you know, conversation. And I just let him know that, you know, you can't take me one-on-one. You know, you haven't. You can go look at the film. He doesn't really take me one-on-one until that moment. Then when he got subbed out, he was tired. So I did my job.
Dillon, you're a thoughtful and very quotable guy.
Mm.
So I want to check with something that you said that you don't respect anyone until they come at
Yeah.
you. But he is the all-time leading scorer.
Yeah, for sure. You know, obviously you got to have some respect. You know, he's a legend. You know, he's LeBron James. But, you know, when I'm on that floor, you're just another player to me. I don't care who you are. You're just 6'8", 270 pounds, and you're a basketball player. You know what I'm saying? And that's where, you know, guys, you know, they don't see that part of the game where like, oh, you know, I had those moments, year 1, year 2, where it's like, oh, he's glowing. You know, he's shining. You know what I mean? But now I'm creating a name for myself. So, you know, you can't be looking at these guys like he's LeBron James. He's just another basketball player, and I'm ready for a challenge every single night.
Hey, Dillon, after the game, you went straight to get your daughter before you did your post game.
Yeah.
How special was that to go over there to get her, to have her there with you?
It's great. You know, she's gonna grow up watching these. You might not remember it, but you know, there's pictures and stuff, and it's just, you know, I just you know, share a moment with my daughter on, you know, in this work. You know what I mean? I get to share that moment with her, and she's so happy, and she tells me I played a good game, and even though she doesn't really know what's going on, but you know, it's just special. So you know, I try to get those moments all the time.
How special was the last few seconds of the game when that song started playing?
Oh, I love that song. I was mad on game 1 we didn't be able to get that song out there, but you know, it's our track, it's our song, and you know, we gotta, you know, keep finding ways at home to, you know, get that track going, because it gets us going.
Are you looking forward to?
How did that play out?
No, I was surprised. You know, we were ready for it. You know, I thought, you know, watching him, you know, work through, you know, workouts and stuff like that he wasn't ready yet. You know, we're ready. You know, he probably told you guys that, you know, he's got all trust in us. And, you know, whatever happens going forward, you know, we're going to be ready.
I imagine from these comments you have about LeBron, when LA gets wind of him, are you prepared for a rude welcome there?
They booed me when I was there before. You know, I get booed everywhere I go. It doesn't matter to me. You know, it just gets me going. Been booed for about 3 years in the playoffs, so you know, it just goes to show that, you know, people know the name and they gotta boo the name, Dillon Brooks.
Do you feel like you put a target on your back?
Been out of target. You know that. Come on, why you asking that question? Been out of target every single night.
You've been, it seems like you've been biting him up. You listed his 6'8", 200.
Yeah.
It seems like you've really been getting into him.
Yeah.
How does, like, what's that contact like? And how do you feel like that is going for you?
Well, it's going well. You know, I'm trying to, you know, try to within, you know, not fouling. You know, just little bumps here and there. You know, just to get him tired. You know, he's a special player. You know, and that's what you got to do. That's the recipe with these special players. They want to play in space. They want to not be touched, and and that's when the regular season, you know, shows it off. But you know, when you get to the playoffs and bumps are allowed and stuff like that, you know, it wears on them.
And is the age, you mentioned he's old, is that part of the wearing him down, is part of the?
A little bit, yeah. You know, he's not at the same level as he was when he was on Cleveland, when he won championships, Miami. You know, I wish I got to see that. You know what I mean? It would have been a harder task. But you know, I'm playing with what I got. You know, so you know, just wear and tear on him throughout a 7-game series and see if he can take it. See if he wants to play the one-on-one battle or if he wants to be out on the sideline shooting the basketball.
Can you wear him down mentally as well as physically?
I got him today. I got him talking to me. So we'll see in the game 3 if he keeps talking, and I'm all there for it.
Hey, you're 3-0 with no shirts on pregame. Are you taking this shirt to LA, man?
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna be taking a shirt to LA. I don't believe in that, man. But you know, I might mixing some. But I got some for game 3. You know, that I wanted to wear, you know, against the Clippers, but you know, I got suspended for having too many tees, and I haven't had no tees in the first 2 games, so I feel like I'm doing well.
Dillon, so AD was 4-14. I know you took on some switches as well. What stood out to you in that defensive execution and slowing him down?
Just playing physical with him, following the game plan on him, and you know, just trying to make every shot tough. You know, he's taller than most of us, and he can get to any spot he wants and, you know, raise up. But just doing work early and, you know, banking on that, you know, doing the work early will, you know, reward you and, you know, when he takes that tough shot.
Appreciate it, Dillon.